Now the presidential race in the GOP is on like Donkey Kong. Everything is heated up all of a sudden, and there's a lot of drama in the air. Mike Huckabee is telling supporters he'll announce on his Fox show tomorrow night whether he'll run for president. In fact, he's lined up a kind of Fox ambition tour on the network over the next 24 hours, scheduling appearances on at least 5 different shows. Dude, I got it. You got a big announcement. I hear you. Now, the conventional wisdom says Huckabee will not run for reasons that we'll discuss in a minute, though he's keeping his cards pretty close to his vest.
I'll be, announcing to the Fox viewers what my intentions are. My executive producer does not even know what the decision is. I've not even communicated with members of all my family until this afternoon.
Also today, Ron Paul, the man who got punked by Bruno, remember that? That was fun. He threw his hat into the ring as well.
Our time has come. It's been around for a long time, but the momentum is here today. I am very, very pleased that I am once again able to say that I am a candidate for the presidency in the Republican Party primary.
And even Newt Gingrich seems to be showing signs that he's finally serious this time around. This might not be just to make more money on the speaker's circuit. For once, he's announced a 6-day campaign swing across Iowa next week, bring the Newt Road Show, which should be a lot of fun, to 17 different towns across the state. All those Newt faces are scaring me a little bit. But of course, now many Republicans are still not happy with their choices. By the way, will Palin get in? That's an interesting one that's coming up, right? Okay, we're going to have a discussion on that in a second as well. But the other person they're talking about, Indiana Governor Mitch Daniels. So, unfortunately for some of the people in the GOP, Daniels doesn't look like he seems that filled with a burning desire to run.
Despite our constantly telling everybody they're not to look for any great announcements or pronouncements, some insisted on expecting some. Now, this whole business of running for national office, I'm not saying I won't do it.
Now, there's a slogan that everyone can rally around. I'm not saying I won't do it. Very, very exciting. But you know, there's also drama surrounding his wife and whether that has an effect on his desire to get in. We'll talk about all of that right now. Joining me right now is Msnbc political analyst Richard Wolffe. Also with us, Ed Rollins, the campaign manager for Mike Huckabee during his 2008 run. Guys, great to have you here. And,
thank you.
Let me start with you. Obviously, the big question tonight is Mike Huckabee going to go in or is he going to stay out? That announcement apparently coming tomorrow. Do you have any insight into it?
I don't have any insight. I've been helping him put a campaign structure together for 4 or 5 months now, and my assumption is the fact that he hasn't talked to me about what he's doing tomorrow night probably means he's not going to run. And I think to a certain extent my last conversation with him, as I said, I've done everything I can. When you get ready to make the decision, let me know, and he certainly has not let me know. So I wait in great anticipation, but I assume the anticipation means that he's not going to run it.
But, you know, I'm stunned by that, Ed, because in almost every single poll, he's either first or second. And the last poll had him at 19%, leading the field entirely. A guy leading the field not entering the race, that seems crazy, doesn't it?
Well, it's crazy, and I can tell you, having worked with Mike for several years now, and who's an extraordinary human being and a great communicator, there are a lot of people who wanted to be part of his operation. I had a campaign, and I've been in this business for a long, long time. I had as good a team as you could have on the field, ready to go. I had sort of given assurances of people we could raise the money, the $50 million we needed. I had political operatives more than willing to basically take key roles. I had a media team all ready to go. I had a press secretary, a communications director all ready to go. And, we sort of covered all the bases of the things that he thought he needed. But at the end of the day, if you don't get up every day and look in the mirror and say, there's the next president of the United States, I'm going to do whatever it takes, you're not going to be a very good candidate. And I think Mike just couldn't get past that hurdle.
And, Ed, I got to stay with you for one more second, because that's really interesting. I mean, what do you think it is? Is it that, you know, that after a while you get soft? You know, you've got all this money coming in from Fox. Apparently he's building a new house. People are saying he's putting on weight. Is it just too tiring to run that election and think, hey, why not take it easy?
I don't know. The last time I had dinner with him 2 weeks ago, as a fat man, I said, Mike, I said, you got to lose 30 or 40 pounds if you're going to run. I said, you wrote, he said, well, you're fat. And I said, yeah, but I didn't write a book talking about how I lost 100 pounds. That may have been what drove him away. But I think, in all honesty, you get into a lifestyle. And you know, he came right from being a governor. He lost weight. He was a marathon runner. He had a tremendous race. He'd always talked about after 208, waiting till 216. And I think what happened is we had a great election in 210, and there's an opportunity now for a Republican to be a viable candidate. And in his head, he wasn't quite ready to give up all that he has today, and probably never will. Wow,
that's really interesting. All right, now, Richard, I hear you talking about Sarah Palin. What kind of information do you have there?
You know, I don't, nobody really knows what Sarah Palin's decision-making is, even less than they know about Mike Huckabee's. But my feeling is that this kind of field, when you see a front-runner like Huckabee, who could have won in Iowa, again, could have won in South Carolina, and really seal that sort of linchpin state there, when you've got a field that is falling apart, that is not really going to catch fire in any meaningful way, there are people on the sidelines who are going to look at that in the fall and say, you know, maybe I feel differently. Maybe I don't want to be ignored because these other candidates who are not catching fire are still getting more media, and maybe the country needs me or the party needs me. I think the decisions start to look differently. So a lot of the projection about Sarah Palin has been, well, why would she want to give things up? Why? Maybe her numbers aren't so good. I think it's going to look very different with this kind of field going into the fall as people start to make those decisions about what their votes are going to look like. Those early states are still going to be in play and could easily have someone like Sarah Palin who comes in late and says, this field needs to be shaken up.
Well, you know, if Huckabee doesn't come in, then that also opens it up for Palin a little bit. You know, the dominoes affect everyone else. And speaking of those dominoes, one guy who's still considering whether coming in is Mitch Daniels. Now, I want to play you guys a video about his wife and his response to that, and then come back and talk about that fascinating issue. Let's watch it first.
I would never want you to be any different than you are. I will never ask you to be. I will never ask you to go anywhere. You don't want to go. You can go anywhere you want. I hope you'll choose to do a lot, but it's entirely up to you.
Now, as I said, that was in reference to his wife. Richard, what's the issue there?
She has not taken a high-profile role. It is demanding. You know, you cannot underestimate how tough it is for families, for their privacy issues. This is a couple that has been divorced and remarried. You've got to play on the social conservative network. And by the way, it's not just about the wife here. I've spoken to people who have worked closely with Mitch Daniels. They say he does not enjoy campaigning. He's not a very good campaigner at all. You kind of can hear that in his public comments just now. So he's a policy wonk, not a candidate, and that's his problem right now, not just for his wife and his family, but for him as someone who can read politics very carefully.
Ed, real quick on the wife issue. Now, she apparently left him, went to California, got remarried with someone else, then came back to him while he took care of the kids. I'm not sure that's even works against him. That might work for him. That seems like, hey, look, he took care of the 4 kids while she was gone.
I'm very biased towards Mitch. Was my deputy in the White House and my hand-picked successor in 1985, 86. He's one of the smartest guys I know in politics. He's been a great governor. He has a very solid marriage. No one knows what happens in a marriage. They separated for a period of time. She remarried. They came back together. They have a wonderful family. At the end of the day, he'll be running on his record, not on his marriage record. And I think to a certain extent, if he chooses to get into this race, he may not be the best campaigner, but he's smart, knows issues better than anybody, and he knows how to run a campaign. He's run his own 2 campaigns. He used to be chairman of the Senate Campaign Committee. He knows how to run a race, and I think would be a very credible candidate.
Right. And look, the issue only comes up because she might be reluctant for him to run because of all the issues that would come up, et cetera. And she even gave a speech about it. Now, one last thing about Ron Paul. Now, he's officially entered the race, and he's saying, look, the party's finally come to where I am. I've been here for 30 years, and they've finally come to the same right-wing place that I'm at. Richard, is that right? And could this be a moment where he's maybe a second choice or a third choice that has a legitimate shot?
I'm going to make a bold prediction. Ron Paul will not be the Republican nominee. He's going to play his gadfly role. He is a thought leader for a part of the party. Obviously, for the Tea Party folks, that's not the whole Republican Party. It's not enough to get the nomination. Would he splinter off and try and run some third party? Unlikely. I mean, you've got to raise money, but he'll have an impact. His ideas have had an impact. But if you've got a Mitch Daniels in there, his ideas are frankly going to be more credible on this field. So as a nominee, as someone who could catch fire, it's just not going to happen.
Ed, real quick, credible or not credible, Ron Paul?
He's a credible candidate, but he's not going to be the nominee, and I think he had a big following of young people particularly, but he's not the mainstream of the party. He's very isolationist. He believes the Federal Reserve should be abolished. He basically is kind of extreme on a lot of issues. He adds some color, and obviously he'll be there till the end.
All right, great analysis. Msnbc political analyst Richard Wolffe and Republican strategist Ed Rollins. Thank you both for coming on tonight, and have a great weekend.
Thank you, too.
You bet.